2010 was an awesome time to be a LEGO fan, because we had themes like Atlantis and Hero Factory. They came out this year for the first time. And it was a banger year for sets like City, Star Wars, and even Toy Story. So let's rank the top 5 best sets from this year, with a few honourable mentions thrown in as well. Here we go. In the number 5 spot, starting off with a small set. This is 5981 Raid VPR, a Space Police set. Space Police is such a fun theme, with its colourful cast of bad guys and so many insanely cool designs. So why did I pick such a teeny tiny set, when there's so many other really good big sets out there? Well, for starters, this is a really well designed little ship. It might be small, yeah, but a lot is packed into such a small space. Yeah, I love seeing these white Technic panels for the wings. Simple, elegant, and it gives this such a sharp and dynamic energy. And this little set came alongside a few other fantastic minifigures. And you got all of this for $10 US. That's all that this cost back in the day. Man, today, you do not see high quality designs like this, a set with 2 minifigures as well. You don't see it for this cheap. Sets like this make me long for the old days. And look at these minifigures. I really like Wrench. This is the villain in the set. And there's a nice little Easter egg here as well. You can see that Blacktron 2 logo on the torso. Lovely little Easter egg. So this guy comes with a lime recolor of Kranax's head. And now sure, some people might scoff at this and say like, well, come on, they should have given us a brand new molded head. I don't want to see a recycled old head in a new color. And to that I say, okay, I guess you just hate fun, but I understand the argument. But see, I actually like that this is a recolor. It reminds me of some of the old Bionicle mask packs, where you got every single mask in a different color. There was something cool about that. This recolored alien, to me, just enriches the world. You ask yourself, oh, okay, are these 2 aliens related? And oh, does that mean that this alien species can have like color variants? Or did, I don't know, he just fall into a vat of radioactive waste and now he's green? See, stuff like this is fun. You come up with your own stories. And man, how good is it to get a unique and rich story with 2 awesome minifigures and a very well designed ship? All of that for $10. You don't see it today. Up next, number 4. And for this slot, we're going to talk about Star Wars. This is set 8128 Cad Bane's Speeder. When I first laid eyes on this set in a Target in Randall Road, Algonquin, Illinois, I said to myself, sweet baby Jesus, I need that Cad Bane. I love him so much, dude. As a kid, he was the coolest character. I loved him in the Clone Wars, and you better believe I needed him as a minifigure. But younger Ben didn't really care at all for the set. I didn't want this speeder, I didn't care about the other figures, I just wanted Cad Bane, that was it. So what did I do? Well, I bought the set. Guys, don't do that. Don't buy a set just for one minifigure. But yeah, I made that poor financial decision back in the day. But hey, I still built the set, and I glanced at the other minifigures and I realized, these are actually kind of awesome. You know, like look at the Senate Commando with his white markings. Dang! And old mate Shahan Amala, the random Weequay pirate with a robotic arm that appears in like 4 episodes of the Clone Wars. I live for weird, obscure Star Wars characters. He quickly became a new favorite minifigure for me. And actually, this set ended up becoming an unexpected favorite in itself. Because you know what? The sleek design of that speeder, it looked way cooler than I first expected. Yeah, it actually felt more like a sports car. In fact, I love this so much that younger Ben ended up making this into a mock. I built this little Coruscant Senate building, or at least like a section of it, and Cad Bane can park the speeder on the side and go in and fight some of these Senate commandos. I even played a little bit with forced perspective, so it looks a bit like the speeder bike is very high up above the ground and the rest of Coruscant can be seen below. You know, a set that started off pretty lame ended up being really freaking cool. And it gave me a bunch of creative inspiration. I built mocks with it. That's what I like to see in a LEGO set. Number 3 goes to a set that I've never actually owned, but oh, I really want to. This is set number 8075 Neptune Carrier. And yes, this is from the legendary theme Atlantis. Oh, Atlantis. This was one of the best themes ever. This very lively color scheme, featuring exotic and strange and just downright cool water vehicles. And they would go head to head with these crazy Atlantean sea creatures, all on the quest to find ancient treasure that could unlock a portal of Atlantis. Oh, it was so sick. This is one of the best LEGO themes, man. And the Neptune Carrier, one of the biggest sets of the wave. Every kid wanted this one. The size of it was so freaking cool. And the play features made this even better. Yeah, that large section down the bottom, that's not there for it to just look pretty. No, this is a garage for a little sea rover to come out of. It pops out so organically. You can barely tell that there was a craft in here to begin with. Ah, dude, I'm obsessed with little hidden play features like this. So cool. So look, the large and in charge submarine design, and the fact that this is a massive set. It's the stuff that kids dream of owning. It's the stuff that adult me dreams of owning. I need to pick this up. Number 2 now, going from a big set to a smaller one. This is 7569 Desert Attack. We are out here in the year of our Lord 2025, and I still do not understand why people sleep on Prince of Persia LEGO sets. There was only like 6 sets in total, but every single one of them rocked. They played with such a specific architectural style that we so rarely see in LEGO sets. And all the lovely colors and unique pieces, and a bunch of sick animals, ostriches, camels. What's not to love? But see, despite all the other cool, big sets, I liked this one as a kid. So much so that I ended up buying 5 of them, potentially even more. I don't really remember exact numbers. Now, younger Ben bought a bunch of these because he liked the pieces. A bunch of tan, always a helpful color. You get those lovely dark bluish gray bamboo leaves, beautiful. And you even get a few of these cheese slopes in light bluish gray that are perfect for rocks. If you're looking to build desert landscapes, this set was so helpful. And I unfortunately don't have photos of it, but I did build a lot of like Tatooine displays, and I actually had a little Prince of Persia diorama. So yeah, I bought this set so that I could build really cool stuff, and so that I could get epic minifigures. And a really good horse as well. I mean, look at the gritty faces on these villains. And their cool new hood pieces, that was very exciting. And the Jake Gyllenhaal minifigure with his epic looking face and that long hair. This was the perfect recipe to build your own, cool action figure heroic characters. You will not believe the amount of minifigures I made that used a combination of all of these pieces. But the unexpected best piece in this set is this dark tan bush. A piece that is worth like $8 on the cheaper end, and close to $15 if you want to pick one up today. Yeah, that's right. This one piece is worth basically the price that the set actually retailed for when it first came out. It's crazy how expensive pieces get today. So I'm so glad I have like 10 of these bushes, because I still use them when I make mocks today. Although this is an older mock, but still, there's stuff you haven't seen yet that uses these pieces. I think I just love battle pack sets. A nice little splattering of pieces, great minifigures. We do still see that today in Star Wars sets, but sometimes they're a little bit bigger and a bit more expensive. There's something classy about the cheapness and the beautiful selection of pieces in this set. This cost $11 back in the day. Hot dog. Before we head to the number 1 spot, I want to talk about 5 cheeky honourable mentions. We have 7955. It's a small little set that's simply titled Wizard. So there were a lot of good castle sets this year, but I like this one. You get a very nice minifigure and a few little interior details, and a dragon. I dream of seeing little teeny tiny cheap castle sets like this in 2025. Because modern LEGO castle sets, they're great, but they're big and expensive. I want cheap stuff that comes with good parts and good figures. Hey, this set is also famous for a typo. The word powerful is misspelled, as you can see here. It shouldn't have 2 L's. But I don't believe that LEGO ever corrected this mistake. There are other sets that had typos that LEGO ended up fixing, but not this one, to my knowledge. I also found official images of this tile that have a completely different print. I don't know what the story is here, I've never seen this until now. I guess this was a prototype that they ended up abandoning. Interesting. Another honourable mention is that 2010 was the birth of the collectible minifigure series. Ah man, these are so good. Yeah, the modern age of collectible minifigures is glorious. Incredibly detailed designs, and some of the best waves we've ever seen come out today. I'm talking to you, Spider-Verse CMF. Oh, you're so beautiful. But I don't know, there's a charm and a simplicity to these figures. There's not too much detail, but the characters are still full of life and character. It just feels so fun and playful. And with standout figures like the zombie, or even the forestman, yeah, these figures are good. 10210, the Imperial flagship, is up next. And man, I'ma say it, this is the best LEGO pirate ship that they have ever made. It's so detailed and so pretty from the outside with those lovely sails. And it's got a pretty amazing interior as well, with plenty of minifigures and great details and cannons. What's not to love? I think the only set that might be better than this is the brand new Black Pearl. That is pretty good. From the Imperial flagship to the Imperial shuttle, this set is maybe the best UCS set ever made. Maybe. All of that white, it's so modest and so beautiful. And so clean. This is one of the few UCS sets to also include a play feature. You can fold out the wings so that it can land, or you can pull them down so it's flying. A lot of UCS sets are just static display models. It's nice that this had a bit of playability. I'd love to see LEGO remake this set today, but I don't know what they would fix. It's kind of perfect. And the final honourable mention, you better believe it, it goes to something Bionicle related. Of course it does. Although I'm cheating a little bit here because this is a 2-for-1 deal. We're going to talk about Mark Surge and Tahu Stars. The Stars wave was the final 6 sets of G1 Bionicle, which is sad. It was tough to see it go back in the day. But I did like the gimmick of buying every single set and getting a little piece of golden armor that you could then link up onto Tahu. That was fun. And the end result looked great. But with Bionicle gone, we got the birth of Hero Factory and the birth of the best set ever, Mark Surge. What's not to love? So yeah, I've only spoken a little bit about Hero Factory and Bionicle in this video, and that's because I'm just focusing on system sets for this one. If you want to see me focus on just Hero Factory sets from 2010, I have a whole other video that does that. Check the links below if you want to watch it. But now, this is my number 1 pick. It belongs to a very, very special set. It's 3221 LEGO City Truck. Alright, let me tell you a story. On my first trip to Denmark, specifically Billund, Denmark, the home of LEGO, I had the absolute pleasure of seeing not one, but multiple LEGO trucks. Whether it's these teeny tiny ones, or yeah, I actually saw one that looks a lot like this set. Just the trailer, I didn't see the truck, but still. I cannot express to you how incredibly exciting it is to see a LEGO set come to life. I mean, when's the last time you saw something like that? Because there was a part of me that was like, oh, this is fun, it's a yellow LEGO truck, that's cool, but that doesn't actually exist. Apparently it does. So I do feel some sort of sentimental attachment to this set because I saw the real thing. It felt like a dream come true to see a LEGO set come to life. But, I don't just like this for that nostalgia. No, this is a good looking set. The design language of it, it's simple, but it does have that classic LEGO charm at the same time. This simple build, it has a lot of character and personality, but it also packs in a nice amount of good building techniques, like the texture on the front, and the nice amount of greebles and details on the side. The front of it kind of reminds me of Bayverse Optimus Prime. From my understanding, it is the same type of truck, and that's cool. And yeah, combining Transformers and LEGO, in 2010, that was a thing I never thought would be possible. Thankfully, that has happened now. And as a kid, it also just made me so happy to get these teeny tiny LEGO sets for your minifigures to play with. So yeah, a lot of happy memories with this set as a child. And of course, we also have the modern remake of this set, which takes this and makes it hyper-realistic. It's full of complexity. This is great. I love this set. But there is something a bit more magical about this era of 2010 trucks and city sets. The perfect level of simplicity with sprinkles of complexity. And the set itself just feels like a lovely kind of like symbol, a totem, a representation of my love of LEGO. And I'm sure that other people feel the same way. Oh, but we cannot forget, there is a limited edition variant of this set, and you could only get it at Toys R Us because, well, yeah, it was a Toys R Us truck. I don't know about you guys, but the tragedy of Toys R Us going bankrupt and dying sucked. It broke my heart as a kid, although I think I was more of an adult at that time, but I felt like a kid because it brought up all the memories of going to Toys R Us as a child and feeling the magic of toys. So to have a LEGO set that symbolizes and represents that long-lost, beautiful store that is Toys R Us, yeah, that's special. And it comes with a small store for the truck to deliver the toys to. The LEGO set didn't have that. The inclusion of this actually adds so much more playability. It's way cooler. So those are my favorite sets from 2010. It really was a good year for LEGO. So what was your favorite set from 2010? Do your favorites align with mine, or have you got something a little different? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys. Happy building, and bye for now. Alright, if I had to put another Bionicle and Hero Factory set on this list, it would be the Stars Rakshi and the Furno Bike.